But Nick, I'd just love to get your thoughts on Adam Gase's firing and where the Jets go from here, especially after a debacle of a season.
Yeah, you look at it, and it was one of those things. It was a long time coming. I would love to be in the know of why it took so long. As we were going through that stretch where it really got ugly, 0-10, 0-11, 0-12. And things didn't change. What the mindset was to keep things going. But now, it's kind of all in the past. So now we're moving towards the future. He's been let go. It's disappointing for him, I think personally, him and his family. But at the same time, this business is all about winning, and the Jets have not been winning. So we're moving on to a new coaching search. I hear that Joe Douglas is going to be leading the charge in finding a new head coach. And I'm excited about that because he's got that offensive line mentality, which I guess I kind of have too. And so I'm excited to see where he goes and the direction he takes, because it's really, there's a lot of great candidates out there. And it's going to be interesting to see who pops up.
All right, so Nick, I don't need a name from you, but what type of coach would you like for Joe Douglas sort of to hone in on? Because we went through the phase where it was these young hot shots, whether they have been coordinators or snatched up from the college ranks, or would you like to see a bit more of a veteran guy? Bieniemy, Saleh are a couple names that come up in terms of guys that have done their time in the NFL.
Yeah, I think for me, looking at it, after going through since my time in 06, we had all rookie head coaches. And, that's kind of a theme to me that has not been working out well for our Jets. And so I'd like to see a little bit of veterans stability. And I'd also like to see someone who has a kind of total mentality for a team instead of being a hotshot defensive coordinator or hotshot offensive coordinator. Someone that can manage the whole team. Because you don't want to stick to one side of the ball because you then alienate your other side. So I'd like to see someone who's well-rounded, comes in, knows the game, and has a disciplined side to him, but also a likable side to him. I think I'm pretty much saying the 0.00001% of coaches out there. So it's going to be a tough challenge for Joe Douglas.
Yeah, it would be nice if that guy was just hanging around somewhere. I mean, it's going to be a lot of turnover. I'll hope so. But we'll see where it goes, man. There's going to be so much turnover with this Jets team, and there might be some turnover at the quarterback position when it comes to Sam Darnold. And if that's the speaking of Sam Darnold, if you saw that last pass yesterday, if that's the last throw he has as a New York Jet, that'll be something. So I just love to get your thoughts, Nick. Have we seen the last of Sam Darnold in the green and white?
So I'm not sure, because this is where I'm on the positive side. It's positive vibes only 2021. I think what's great about having Joe Douglas stick around as the GM is that he's seen Sam now for a whole year. He's seen what he can do. He's seen him in practice. And he has an understanding of what he's all about. And having the full offseason to decide, is it time to draft a guy? Sitting at number 2, there's a handful of good quarterbacks. One of them being another fine Ohio State product, Go Bucks. Is that the way that he wants to go? Does he want to find another veteran out there and maybe use that number 2 pick as draft capital to make a trade? Or stick with Sam and hope that someone comes in and can really get Sam going and kind of build him up and make him into the quarterback that we all believe that he can be and that we want when he was drafted. So it's kind of I'm very happy that Joe Douglas is still here and has been here, because it gives him a leg up on anybody who would come in fresh, anyone who doesn't know what Sam's about. And has to then decide in an off season of going back and watching practice film. Joe's been there. He's watched the practices. He's seen them in meetings and everything. And so I think we're in a good spot. I think after all the tough losing and all the season that it was, I actually think we're in a pretty good spot moving forward. There's a lot of holes to fill, and it's going to be a busy offseason. But I'm pretty happy as we're starting off this 2021.
All right, Nick, you got to be happy. You just mentioned your Buckeyes. And yes, we're talking Justin Fields because he could be sitting right there at number 2. But I want to go back to Saturday night, my guy. That performance by your Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, tell me what it was like sitting at home taking all of that in for you as an alum.
It was awesome. I was watching it. I was a little disappointed. I was like, hey, 8:00 game. It's kind of late. Maybe we could have had the 4:00 game. Would have been a little bit nicer. But I sat there and I watched it, and as the things were starting to get going, it was one of those things that I really wanted to start having a little bit of fun on Twitter. But then at the same time, I didn't want to jinx anything, so I kind of just I let the internet slide. I stayed off as much as I could. And just sat back and enjoyed it because it was a heck of a performance. Those guys played hard. Defense was flying around. Offense, Justin Fields was just out of his mind. I think he had 6 total touchdowns and then 6 incompletions, or maybe 5 incompletions. That's unbelievable. And so it was a fun game to watch. It was after the Big Ten championship where everyone was kind of dogging Ohio State. Should they even be in the playoffs? To see them come out and put out a performance like that, you really, puts a smile on the face.
I'm pretty sure Ohio State isn't going to wake up ranked 11th this weekend. So, Dabo Swinney, you got to sit on that for a while. Let's stay in the AFC East for a little bit. The Miami Dolphins win, and they could have been in behind the arm of their rookie quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, and they got absolutely thumped by the Buffalo Bills. 2-part question. What are your thoughts on the Miami Dolphins? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Buffalo Bills, man. They look like some world beaters lately.
Yeah, so, Miami having to win to get in, and having to do it against Buffalo was just a bad draw because Buffalo is hot right now. But I do like where Miami's going. I like the direction they're taking. They played some good football this season. And so I don't think they have anything to be ashamed about, even though they missed the playoffs. They seem to have a good base going forward. But Buffalo, on the other hand, is just lighting it up. Sweeping the division, being able to be where they are, the way that they're playing, their defense is flying around. Josh Allen, I kind of paid a little bit more attention to him this year because I had him in fantasy. And he is just doing a fantastic job, making the throws, making the runs when he needs to. Leading that team. And I think the biggest thing that you look around and you watch that team is that they're having fun. They're playing with each other. They're playing for each other. And it's fun to watch them because they're doing it the right way.
So speaking of Diggs, who is the leader in reception yards and catches this year, having a tremendous year, he was caught on the sideline flossing. Not like showing off flossing, but literally flossing. Post-game, he tweeted, y'all know how them orange slices be. Clearly, he was snacking as well. So it begs the question, Mangold, what's the oddest thing you've ever done on the sideline that you can share?
I was about to say, be clear that this is a family show, Monica. This is a family show, Nick, as well, please.
Y'all kind of gross.
Yes. We are disgusting people. I think for me, I'm pretty normal. My favorite sideline story was in 2009. We were in Oakland, and we were beating the brakes off of them, which was a lot of fun in itself. But then I think it was in the middle of fourth quarter. Mark Sanchez got hungry, and so he had one of the concession guys grab him a hot dog. And so he sat on the bench eating a hot dog, which I never even thought of trying. And it takes a quarterback to come in and, pull that trick off. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I would love to have a hot dog on the sideline. Never even crossed my mind.